votes in 2008. And Scott Walker, he's really a solid leader. He's God-fearing, and he's willing to stand up and do the right thing. Don't you love him? We need people like Scott Walker in Pennsylvania and leading our United States of America. He did two great things while he was in Wisconsin, and we need both of those things. The first thing he did was he eliminated automatic dues collection for public employees. And that cut the membership in 1 year by 2/3, which is spectacular. The other thing he did is he said he wanted the public sector employees to pay more, a greater portion of their retirement. Those are two initiatives that we need to push for and make sure that our elected officials in Pennsylvania accomplish. And we need to join the 48 other states who don't allow their teachers to strike. Do you know our teachers through the union supported Walker's opponent in this last election? Shame on them. In the general private sector, only 6.9% of people are union members, yet in the public sector, 37% are public sector employee union members. We need our elected officials to stand up to the unions here and in the U.S. Congress and do the right things to bring the public sector salaries, benefits, retirement wages, and everything else in line with the private sector, where the private sector individuals, because the private sector individuals are supporting them.
They pay their bills.
It's unclear whether or not Scott Walker would have won without the Tea Party support. The Tea Party around the country went in there and knocked on hundreds of doors, hundreds of thousands of doors, and made thousands and thousands of phone calls. There were people from the Tea Party movement from other states who went in 2 months early to begin that progress and that process of working for Walker. And we're going to need that kind of enthusiasm and help here in Western Pennsylvania, because we can change this region from a blue region to a red region. But we have an uphill battle. We have more people on food stamps than we've ever had before, and we have a president who's airing radio spots encouraging more people to get on food stamps, taking the shame out of being involved in that process. We have 1 in 6 people in the United States now on public assistance. We have twice as many people working for the government than working for manufacturers. Our debt is now 75% of our GDP. We have mainstream media, which claims to be unbiased, yet it was really clear in the Scott Walker election that they're pushing hard for the other side, for Obama and for the unions. And we have a president who tells fibs. Lots of them. And we get to see these repackaged, dressed up, and put on the air. And last time, if he spends as much as he did last time, he put $1 billion behind his campaign. So we're getting to hear all kinds of dandies, like how he created 4 million jobs. Today it came out in the Wall Street Journal that really it is true that Mitt Romney has created more jobs through Bain Capital as a private organization than Obama created, especially when you factor in the growth of the United States by, I think, 4 million people a year. It's unbelievable. So at this point, we need to make sure that those people on the fence are willing to vote for the long-term health and stability and freedom in the United States than for the short-term subsidies and promises, empty promises that will destroy this country. You know, one other big event that we had this week, and I don't know if many of you have heard about it, but one person who I highly respect is Dr. James Dobson. He is one of the most recognized Protestant leaders, and we all saw in this region our bishops, the Catholic bishops, standing up and speaking out against Obamacare. And it was a little bit upsetting to me because I wanted to see the Protestants step in line too, because there are a lot of Protestants in this country. Well, the person I thought was the most recognized is Jobson, and he did jump in. And this is what he said, and I'll read it to you. He said, "I will not pay the surcharge for abortion services. The amount of the surcharge is irrelevant. To pay 1 cent for the killing of babies is egregious to me, and I will do all I can to correct a government that lies to me about its intentions and then tries to coerce my acquiescence with extortion. It would be a violation of my most deeply held convictions to disobey what I consider to be the principles of Scripture. The Creator will not hold us guiltless if we turn a deaf ear to the cries of His innocent babies. So, come and get me if you must, Mr. President. I will not bow before your wicked regulations." Dr. James. Now, if you'd like your pastor and church to get involved in this and take a stance, because I believe what Dobson says, where we will not be held guiltless. We have some DVDs from David Barton that are excellent that you can listen to, and he explains the development of our country, the rules and foundation of our Constitution, and they're excellent. If you didn't attend the Barton event, please do. But for now, we need your involvement, the involvement of every person in the Tea Party movement who share our values, to get involved and help us get elected candidates who have the closest values to our fiscal responsibility, a constitutionally limited government, and free markets. We'd like you to help us stand behind Keith Rothfus, who's running for the Jason Altmaier crit spot. For Hans Lessman, who's running for Doyle's spot. For Tom Smith, who's running for Casey's spot. And Casey, I might add, we tried to work with him against Obamacare, and he's a dead man walking. He does everything that Obama tells him to do. He's a minion. And we'd also like you to support Mitt Romney.
Yes. Yeah.
One last thing, going forward, the Tea Party groups will be working together. We have some national organizations, some action groups of some names that we know. Americans for Prosperity Action Group, American Majority Action, and they want to work with us. So if you're not on a mailing list, please sign one of the clipboards that a few of us have, and please give us your email address and your phone number so we can get in touch with you and get out the vote and watch for voter fraud. But please be involved. We thank you so much for being here, and thank you, Tea Party Express.
Thank you.
Okay, they're going to take the stand up. While they do, when I was on Hannity last week, they asked me who I thought would make a great vice presidential candidate. And I said, there is one man.
Jim Quinn.
You have no idea. You don't know where he's been. Okay, I have an idea, and you don't want it. Okay, so anyway, I said there is one man, however, aside from Jim Quinn, there is one man who I think has shown extreme loyalty to Mitt Romney, who I think understands now the value in capitalism, who also understands just how well Romney did with Bain. 80%, almost 80% success rate. Bill Clinton. All right. Listen, there's two things I want to remind you of. People have asked me to mention. Stand Up for Religious Liberty rally tomorrow at noon at Mellon Square. And also, and some of this might be on our website, Defeat Obama rally, St. Marguerite Hall in Mahoningtown. So, all right, so let me introduce, thank you. I was a little nervous coming up here. I was just in a car accident. It was very bad, and I had a tremendous head injury, which was the second one I've had in 2 years. I went so many years, I won't tell you how many, without ever falling and hitting my head, and now I can't seem to stop. So I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, our next guest, Michelle Malkin calls our next speaker her brilliant friend. And once you hear him speak, you will agree with her. And says that his book, The Constitution Made Easy, which, by the way, you can purchase right over there, and it looks like this. Okay, over there. I'm sorry, where the guy in the green shirt is waving his hand. It belongs in every American family's home. Reagan's Attorney General Ed Meese says that Mike has done us all a favor by explaining the Constitution in modern English. That does help. Please welcome the man we call Mr. Constitution, Mike Holler.
Yeah.
Thank you. We send elected officials to Washington, D.C., and they take an oath. They say that they will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. How are they doing so far? Not very good. They say, and you're going to have to help me here, they say they solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, help me, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But they're not doing that. And so many of you have started calling some of these people traitors. I think that's the wrong word. I'm sorry, but I think that's the wrong word. I need to teach you a new word. They couldn't be traitors. They were never on our side. They are domestic enemies of the Constitution. Fortunately, the Constitution provided one more remedy in a worst-case scenario. There were some other defenders of the Constitution. It's the first 3 words of the Constitution. We the people. And I believe that the problems start at the top and work their way down to us, and that the solution starts with us and works all the way back to Washington, D.C. Yep. We can hold their feet to the fire if we will understand the Constitution ourselves. I'm on a crusade to raise the Constitution IQ of America. All right. How many of you saw my little 8-question quiz? It probably got wet while you were out there. How many of you saw that little 8-question quiz? How many of you got all 8 right? You can grade your own over here at my table. I'll let you keep the quiz and the answer sheet just for being a good sport. But we need to raise the constitutional IQ of America. I've got a couple quick questions for you. One, if we don't raise the constitutional IQ of America, what happens?
It dies.
2 words. We lose. If we do substantially raise the constitutional IQ of America, we win. It's as simple as that. Folks, 2 reasons people don't pay attention to the Constitution. One is fear, and the other one is pride. I took the fear out by writing the Constitution Made Easy. Take your pride out and make sure you spend a little time studying the Constitution. How many of you are willing to spend 1 hour studying the Constitution between now and November? Could I see your hands? 1 hour, you'll commit to understanding the Constitution of America. How many of you will commit to spending at least 10 minutes talking to one person about the Constitution and raising their IQ between now and November? If we do that, we'll save the great state of Michigan and we'll save this great republic. Thank you very much. God bless.
Okay. You know how things got pretty crazy when Joe the plumber came on the scene? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Well, guess what? We have our own guy. We do. It's Dale, the electrician. How about that? I really like this guy. I have shared the stage with him many, many times over the years, and I appreciate him so much, and he understands so much, and he's able to articulate it to a number of people to make them understand. You already understand it, but boy, he really has a calling on his life, and I think you're going to really enjoy hearing from him. Please welcome Dale, the electrician. I guess I should say your last name too, right?
Thanks, Rose, And thanks to the Tea Party Express and the Pittsburgh Tea Party movement for giving me this opportunity to speak. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. God bless.
My name's Dale McCoy. I'm a husband and father. I'm an occasional writer, an occasional speaker. I'm a blue-collar guy. I've made my living with my hands.
There you go.
Along the way, I've worked union and non-union. I've been a laborer and I've been a boss. I've been a Democrat and a Republican. I've been a lot of things. But first and foremost,
You're American.
I'm an American.
Yeah!
I'm also a Tea Party member, and I'm damn proud of it.
Yeah!
The theme of this particular Tea Party is reclaiming our future. In order to reclaim America's future, I think we need to focus a little bit on what it means to be an American.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to talk about rich or poor Americans. I don't want to talk about Democrat or Republican Americans. And I don't want to talk about union or non-union Americans. I don't want to talk about Irish Americans, African Americans, or Italian Americans. We don't need hyphens to separate us. We're all Americans.
Yeah!
Here in our country, it's understood that we're all unique. We're all different, and we're all independent. That's freedom.
Yeah!
Freedom and independence is our common bond. It's the key to our success, and it's imperative that we keep that in mind. But we're surrounded by people who exploit our freedom and individuality. They use it to keep us separated. They use it to maintain their hold on power.
Yes, they do.
Because I'm a union guy and a Tea Party member, Jimmy Hoffa Jr. comes to mind. You remember Jimmy? He's an old school union boss. He called us Tea Partiers SOBs. Well, I don't know about you, but Jimmy's grammar and nepotism problems aside, he was actually right about me. You see, in the Pittsburgh area working man's vernacular, we don't always take that SOB all that seriously. It's okay to be called a strong SOB. It's okay to be called an intelligent SOB. And it's really quite a compliment to be called a hard-working SOB. Well, Jimmy was right about me, but I'm not his puppet. I'm an independent son of a bitch, and I plan on staying this way. But I didn't come up here to beat up on Jimmy Hoffa and the unions. I'm aware of their shortcomings. And I'm equally aware that there's a lot of good people who happen to be union members.
Yeah.
Unions, business, and government all suffer from the same problem. We tend to think we're surrounded by dishonest people in labor, in business, and in government. And to a large extent we are. But the truth goes a little deeper. What we're really surrounded by is the timeless failings of human nature.
Yeah.
Wrath, greed, pride, envy, you know the list. The powerful and the unscrupulous among us will always try to use our own weakness to separate us, to divide us, and to control us. They'll divide us by race, by age, by income, by color. Don't let them do it.
That's it.
America was founded on limited government and individual rights, but we can find common ground as Americans,
Yes, sir.
and we can save our freedom. Does everyone here remember how Barack Obama got elected?
Yep.
I remember it very distinctly. He pretended to be a different man. He was perceived as one who could unite people,
Right.
one who could rise above partisanship.
Right.
He was perceived as the voice of reason. Now everyone, and I mean everyone, knows better.
Yep. That's it.
As Tea Party members, we're the voice of limited government, fiscal responsibility, and free markets. As Tea Party members, we are the voice of reason. And America's listening to us.
Yep.
We're on the heels of a great victory in Wisconsin. It's not just a Tea Party victory. It's not just a conservative victory. It's an American victory. We're 5 months out from the most important election of our lifetime, and we've got the wind to our back again. God's blessed us once again.
Yes, he is.
But we've been here before, and we need to be careful. To have the most impact, we need to remember to follow the golden rule. We got to treat others the way we want treated.
Amen.
If we want to reclaim our future, our job as Americans is not to bask in the victory in Wisconsin. It's not to gloat over how the unions were defeated. And our job's not to stand around here too awful long preaching to the choir.
Amen.
Our job is to find common ground with our fellow Americans and to spread the gospel of responsibility, freedom, and independence. Because first and foremost, we're Americans. Thank you, and God bless America.
Did you love him? Daryl McCoy, everybody. He's a great guy. Okay, you know when you meet somebody and you just know that you like them? And then you know that you want to stay in contact with them because there's something really special about that person. And yeah, we agreed on political issues, and that was the start of the friendship. But what went even deeper was our faith, that we shared the same faith and that we were both as enthusiastic about our faith as the other. And so he's a funny guy. He used to work, in fact, my cousin's husband used to work on Home Improvement Show. And when I told them that I met this guy, boy, did they have the stories. And some of them, I don't know. They're pretty crazy. But they shared some stories with me, and he's always been a fun guy to be around. And now that he's super committed to this country and turning things around, he's even more fun to be around. You may remember him as Benny from Home Improvement, but he's our Jimmy Labriola, and he's back again in Pittsburgh. Please welcome him.
Please, thank you, folks. Please, Rose Tennant, come on. Rose, look at this beautiful woman. God bless her. I love her. I follow her around when she didn't even know it. Hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm a murderer. I just got out of the joint. I killed 7 people. I'm running for Senate.